You've made quite a number of transitions through your career. And a number of people who come, in my coaching practice, they say, okay, I'm either getting into a new job or I'm in a new job. I don't even know what to do. Did you have fears? What is that fear that you probably had either during the interview or transition process or when you entered a new job? What are those fears that you encountered yourself?
So the first one I can talk about is jumping from a consultant in PwC to a CFO in an insurance company, because you always have at the back of your mind a niggling anxiety that I've done well as a consultant, telling people what to do. Surely it must be a different cup of tea to now actually do what I had always been telling people to do. But, a chapati, I love chapati, so I always weave them back into my conversations, tastes better when it has cooked on both sides. So what kept me going is that surely I have cooked very well on the side of as consultants. So for me to be more useful to the world, let the chapati be turned, and now I go into practice. So that was the first one. So when I joined Britam as a CFO, I rose to the position of finance director and strategy director. And as an ambitious young man, my next desire was to be a CEO. But our CEO then was reasonably young and was doing a good job. So there was really no reason for him to move aside for me. So I started attending, and I was saying this to Joyce at break. There she is. So I started attending interviews for CEO roles. And I wasn't getting it. But my curiosity, this is why it's a very important characteristics to have, always got me back to the panels to ask them, so why did I not get this position? And they would be generous. You'll be surprised how willing people are to give you feedback if you ask for it. So they told me that in terms of operational issues, strategy issues, finance, investment, we have no quarrel with you. But a CEO role has a significant marketing and sales responsibility. We feel you do not have the experience or sufficient experience in that area. And no amount of my faffing around that question in interviews would convince them. So when this happened twice, I decided that I had to get sales and marketing experience. So that's the next change to answer your question, where I was a bit anxious, feeling a bit inadequate. So I left Britam as a finance and strategy director, de facto number 2, to go and become a general manager, sales and marketing at Sanlam. So in fact, a lot of people thought I had been fired at Britam. They didn't tell me that at the time. They told me later when they saw that I had a plan. And I therefore looked after sales and marketing function at Sanlam. But I remember thinking, I have been a finance person all my life. How will I? And I also felt a bit inadequate inwardly. Outwardly, you should have seen the confidence that my teams might pick out that actually I'm not good in sales and marketing. But they didn't. The fact that I would involve them, ask them, and blah, blah, blah. Again, not being proud to be a know-it-all, I quickly picked up. In fact, there are a lot of people in Sanlam who owned up to me later, who hadn't done their homework to find out my background, who didn't know that I was not a sales and marketing person. So that's the other one where I was a bit anxious. Now, while I was at Sanlam, an opportunity to become CEO came up. In other words, the CEO position became vacant. And I couldn't wait to apply for it. And I couldn't wait for the interview panel to ask me whether I have experience in sales and marketing. And as I was saying to Joyce, God has a sense of humor, because that's the one question they never asked me.
They never ask the ones that you've prepared for, even in exams, true, eh?